All right, so when it comes to Jiménez versus Jiménez, obviously the only difference that we see is in their names, because when it comes to the position too, and what we've seen from these two players as of late, for you, Jose, is Raul Jimenez penciled in as a starter against Canada?
Yes, for me it is, and for Javier El Vasco Aguirre it is as well. If you want to be the starter in your national team, you have to earn your spot. And Santi has given so many opportunities, and he hasn't been able to perform. The last meaningful goal that he scored was in the Gold Cup final when they beat Panama. But in the last Copa America, so the Mexican Federation, they made a decision. Keep Santi. He's supposed to be the man. They didn't even call Henry Martin after he won the second championship with America. They just handed the position to Santi Giménez, and he wasn't able to score one goal. Mexico, after 3 games, they were out. Javier Aguirre comes in. The first games, Santi Giménez, the starter, but he didn't score. Then he got injured. In the last 2 official games, when they play Honduras, they lost 2-0 in San Pedro Sula. They go back to Toluca, right? And Raúl Alonso Jiménez scored the first goal. Henry Martin, coming off the bench, he scores 2 goals. So, Chris, even though Santi Giménez is having a great time, he's performing well in AC Milan, as of right now, for Javier El Vasco Aguirre, not just for me, for Javier El Vasco Aguirre, Raúl Alonso Jiménez is number 1, Henry Martin is number 2, and Santi Giménez is number 3.
This is
Speechless.
what because this is what a majority of pundits in Mexico, that's how they feel. They feel that Henry Martin, who plays in Liga MX, who, by the way, oft injured last year, who's got a very good career in Liga MX, who's the captain of Club America, but still Liga MX in Mexico, they put him on par with teams that play in the Champions League. They put him on par with a player like Santi Giménez, who now plays at AC Milan. Now, everything you just said about the national team, true. Not just the only meaningful goal that Santi has scored. The only goal he scored.
I said the last meaningful goal.
That's the only goal there's been no goal since. Forget meaningful.
Yeah, you're right.
Throw in a not meaningful goal. There's just been no goals. So that's a knock on Santi. But if you're Javier Aguirre, you've got to think of a way of getting Santi Giménez on the field and making him an impact player. I think we're going to come to a situation where, especially because that midfield is non-operative, if you have a Romo there, if you have a Luis Chavez, if you have an Edson Alvarez, a lot of those players are not in a good level right now. Right. There's a situation where you're going to play with 2 forwards, I think, in the recent future. And those 2 forwards, it's not going to be Henry Martin in any one of those. He's going to be a player that's going to be influential and comes off the bench. Absolutely. But it's going to be Raúl Jiménez and it's going to be Santi Giménez. That's what's going to happen. You can ill afford not making the most out of a player who's scoring goals in the Premier League like Raúl Jiménez is today, and a player right now who is red hot in Champions League and now Serie A, who plays for, as Jose just mentioned, one of the biggest brands in world football. There's going to be a moment where he makes the decision, I got to use both. I don't think he decides, I keep Santi Giménez off the field.
I understand what you're saying when it comes to where they're playing, who they're playing against, who has better preparation, etc. But you will know that it's very different when we see a player succeed in their club and having it translate directly to what we're seeing from the Mexican national team. So are you more convinced from what you're seeing from Henry Martin, specifically with the Mexican national team, leaving America aside?
Yeah, I mean, if we take the last games, yes, Chris. I mean, if we take the clubs, yeah, Santi Giménez, like Hercules just explained, he's playing in the elite level. He's playing the UEFA Champions League, Serie A. But Henry Martin plays for America. They just won 3 championships in a row, something that has never been done before in Liga MX since they did the small tournaments, right? Before, yeah, La Super Chivas, blah, blah, blah. But in recent history, 3 championships in a row, and Henry Martin has been a key player. And like Chris said, Herc, you can be the best striker in your club, but when you get called for your national team, you better perform. Santi has been giving him so many opportunities, and he hasn't been able to score.
Santiago Giménez is 24 years old. Raúl Jiménez is 33, 34, and Henry Martin is, I believe, about 18 months younger than that. Add another year to their lifespan. Add another year of wear and tear to those tires, to that tread. You have to fast-track Santi, and because you know he can produce at the elite level, world's elite level, you have to assume it's just a run of bad form at the CONCACAF level. It would be very illogical to assume that one could do it at such a high level in the Champions League but cannot function in the CONCACAF level. You've got to do whatever you can to get this player on track. I don't say that at the expense of Raul Jimenez because I think Raul Jimenez has earned his place here. I say it with Raul Jimenez. I think there's a way of having both coexist where it works off of each other because they're very different profiles. Raul Jimenez is very good with the ball at his feet. He's very good in the air. He's a player that can play as a 9.5 who facilitates. I actually think that's his best trait is Raul Jimenez is a facilitator. He gets everybody else into the game. Santi Giménez is a finisher. Santi Giménez is beyond the defensive line. He's hard, sharp, crisp runs. There's a world where both of these players coexist for this Mexican national team, but you cannot ignore Henry's age, Raul's age, and Santi's form right now.
You're thinking in the long future.
Oh, I'm thinking
in the long
right now.
term.
I'm thinking World Cup.
And you make a lot of sense, but Javier El Vasco Aguirre, he's thinking about today. Just don't forget that they had Diego Coca, Jimmy Lozano. Now they have Javier Aguirre. He knows if he loses like games in the Gold Cup or he's eliminated in the CONCACAF Nations League, next man out, next man, you know, that's the philosophy of the Mexican national team. So he's not thinking about who is going to be better prepared for the next World Cup. He's thinking about right now. And right now, Raúl Alonso Jiménez and Henry Martin have proved themselves, and Santi has not.
Ooh, I don't know. Listen, I'm a fan of Henry Martin. I just think it's a far stretch putting him in the same conversation right now as Santi Giménez.
And when it comes to avoiding injuries, too, we know that has been an issue, unfortunately, for someone as skilled and as passionate about playing with the Mexican national
he's talking
team.
about, he was not available for the whole process.
Right, which is sad to think about when we know what Henry Martin is definitely capable of. But like you said, Javier Aguirre is thinking about what's coming up now in almost a month, March 20th, that CONCACAF Nations League semifinal against Canada. But for now, we have to say thank you and goodbye.
Hey, it's been fun. Thank you guys for having me. Am I coming back?
Coming back.
Okay,
thank you, Chris. Only if you want.
Of course I want.
Sorry about him. But anyway, you can also catch Jose El Valle on Ahora o Nunca, Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific on ESPN Deportes.